tell me a little bit about Iyara.
Iyara community. I would liken Iyara community to Makoko community in Lagos State. So if you've ever heard of Makoko, then think of Makoko on this side and think of Iyara on this side. And then bring the two together, right? The only difference between the two is that one is on water and one is on land.
Hi everyone, my name is Fummeee. If you're new here, you're absolutely welcome to my YouTube channel. Now, every time I talk about the unfortunate things that happen in Delta State, especially in Nigeria, but today I'm going to be showing you one of the brightest lights that have come out of Delta State. I am currently in Iyara, community of Delta State. My first time here, and there's just so much I would like you guys to see. Today, we're going into Iyara community. To be honest, every story we have heard about Iyara community has not been stories of good. But today, I'm going to be shining a light on Clever Minds International School in Iyara community. And in doing that, we're going to be focusing on Zion Oshoboge. Zion Oshoboge Opo was a Tony Elumelu Foundation alumni, and he quit his job as a famous radio host to create a foundation that feeds and educates orphans and less privileged children for free till the end of their primary school education. Today we're going to be finding out why. Why does he do this? What makes him tick? And how can we help? You know Mr. Zion? You like her? Why you like her?
Because they dash me money every time.
I feel most of the things you do is to help the society. There's 1,000,001 ways. There are a lot of easy ways to do it. So first of all, why children? Mm-hmm. Why less privileged children? And why Iyara?
I've really always believed as a young person growing up that if we're ever going to change society, if we're ever going to have better communities, it has to start with educated children. It has to start with children that are properly educated, not just school, but children that are taught how to think, children that are creative, how to solve problems. I also believe that education unlocks the potential of everyone, and what better way to help a society than to start from its children. You know, why children that are underprivileged? I was that child. The children I help today is like my former self, you know, because I grew up in conditions that were not very palatable. My parents loved me so much, but financial resources at the time was a problem, so they had to make me go serve as a house help. I was doing every domestic chore you can think about in a 5-bedroom duplex for 4 years of my life. I mean, 365 days times 4 years. It was a time in my life that shaped me. So why the underprivileged children is because I was underprivileged, and the person I met as his house help, as his domestic servant, chose not to pay me. We had 5 house helps in the house. But in 2004, when I entered the house as the 5th house help, a 16-year-old boy, he said to me, "I'm not going to pay your parents. I'm going to send you to school." Engineer Nnamdi Onyeka believed that education was the best form of payment to any underprivileged child that works for you. So he sent me to school, he sent me to Petroleum Training Institute, and that was the beginning of my possibility journey. And school, for me, it just unlocked my mind, it unlocked my potential. If school can develop my potential, then why don't I give education to children in slum areas rather than give handouts? Because one of the essence of charity is to make people free from it in the long run. I know what it means to starve, I know what it means not to eat. You know, so that's why I do what I do. It is founded on the belief that education is the only leveler between the rich and the poor.
Something that you said really hit me, and it's something that is always on YouTube. People are talking about it now, which is taking young children into your house, some 15, 16, 20, some 8 years old, and then using them as house helps. What's your opinion?
Children, you know, being used as house help, or taking an 8-year-old, whatever the age of the child you take into your house, you must treat every child like your child. if you treat every child as your child, that's when you have the right to call any other child your child. So if you have biological children and you say, this is my own child, you don't have that right except you've treated the other child that is not your biological child like your child. And that's the treatment I got from Engineer Namji Onyeka when I was a house help. So taking people in as house help is not bad because you're giving them a chance at life, but don't pay them. My opinion would be don't pay them. Just send them to school. Give them education and give them quality education. The man that I served as his house help, if he gave me a low par education, it will also reflect on his children. Because I spent more time with his children because I went to school part-time.
Yeah.
I went to school Friday, Saturday, and Sundays because I had to take care of the children from Monday to Friday afternoon before they went to drop me in school. I went to Petroleum Training Institute at the time, which and still now is one of the best, institutes we have. So sending me to that school is also a reflection of the quality of thoughts the person that took me in as their house help. So if you take people in as your house help, it will reflect in the quality of school you send them to. You being a good person and a kind person is not just helping that child come into your house and then giving them chores to do. You being a good person and a kind person is believing so much in the possibilities of that child that you treat them like your own, send them to great schools, because whether you like it or not, they will interact daily with your children. And the values they get from the school you send them to is what they'll instill in your children. And if you don't send them to school because you think they are not worthy to be sent to school, they're going to instill the same values in your children. You always have to monitor them because you are saying you don't know what they'll be doing to your children right now because of the way you've distinguished the class. If they go out with you and it's easy to spot the house help, then it's also showing in the reflection of how your attitude is. If you can't treat them well, don't take them in.
So you went to PTI, you finished. Mm-hmm. Because obviously to start a foundation is really not cheap. When I think about the money, I'm like, God, I beg go. So like, how did you get money? And instead of you to have been using that money to take care of your parents, how were you able to channel it into building what you have built?
So Clever Mind started officially in 2017. Almost on an 8-year journey of procrastination. I procrastinated Clever Minds for 8 years. Why? Because I was scared to start. I was scared that where would the money come from?
Yeah.
I was scared that who will support me? I was scared that will people believe in what I even want to do? I have no qualifications as regards opening a school. So I'm in the eyes of society and my mind, I was saying to myself, I'm not even qualified on paper for what I intend to do. It was up until 2017 that I had a near fatal accident that I really cut ties with procrastination. Sometimes you don't know how much you can do till you are close to dying. Because the only thing a dying man is asking for is time. So in 2017, 2 weeks to my wedding, if you notice my ear is not really very complete, I have a deformity. This is because a lot of my skin was taken to do what I have as my ear now. I was in a near fatal accident. I lost my first car. I was coming back from a journey. I went to speak, and then I had this accident. And the nurse that sat by my side said I was in a 9-hour coma. She said the doctor had signed out on me, and the news blogs, people, took it up and said, you know what? I was gone. I was dead. And here I was in a trance. What she called a coma, obviously, was a coma. But I saw children, and I couldn't see the end of these children. And they were all asking me for one thing. And they were all dirty. They were all tattered. They were all not looking good. But I couldn't see their end. And I was walking towards a white path. And they were calling me back. And they were asking me to teach them. They were crying. And that's the only thing they were saying in that trance to me. Come and teach us. And I said to them, don't worry, I'm coming back. I'm just going somewhere. I'm going to come back and teach you. And they started to, hit the tables. And they would say, come and teach us now. Just remembering that story, I'm kind of emotional. But I turned back to teach them. And I said, you all sit down. I'll teach you now. As I told them to sit down, I woke up in Obiaroko General Hospital in Delta State, Nigeria. And the nurse that was sitting by my side jumped up. She said, you have been in coma. This is the 9th hour of you being in coma. And I said, where am I? And she told me what has happened, and she told me everything. That accident, as I sat down, You know when people say they hear a voice, I heard my own clearly to say, go and do my work. So the work I do is really based off of faith. How did I get money to start the work? The money became real to me in debt. So this is the second life I'm living. Came out from that, went to the wedding, finished my wedding, and started Clever Minds in August of 2017. I wasn't even going to bother about how the money will come because I was done with procrastination. I knew that the reason why I'm alive today is because those children in that trance, I just put it out there that I'm starting a school. And I understand something, that money comes with purpose. So I already had the vision I wanted to do, and then provision just came. People started to message me. Random people started to message me. I'm going to support you. I'm going to buy 10 chairs. I'm going to buy 20 chairs, you know. The first 50 chairs we got was from Unique International School in Clever Minds, Ejeba. So I didn't have any money anywhere. But the money we need to start doing God's work and charity work is really never in our hands. Every money you need to do God's work, every money you need to help people, every money you need to do this work that you've been called to do, if you are listening to me, it's just basically in people's hands. God just wants you to be the vessel. And once you decide to obey him, he would channel resources your way. So from 2017, we did the first school, and then 2021, we did the second school. And the second school was also just putting it out there, you know. And we built 2 schools with close to over 35 million naira, right? And we've been feeding these children, giving them quality education. We just did our 5th graduation. Where would they have been? 325 children that we take care of. Where would they have been if I thought about just money and thinking I don't have before I start God's work? I still don't have a lot of money now in the bank, but I have $1 million God, and I have $1 million idea, and I have $1 million mind. And I know that if I just choose to do God's work, it's going to happen. Doing this work makes me happy. It really makes me happy. It's just what I live for, you know. God is just opening doors that I really would not have been able to open by myself, or even my education would not have been able to open. So I love doing this work. I just love obeying God. How I get the next salary, I don't know. How I get the next meal for these children, I don't know. How they eat, I don't know. How they clothe, I don't know. But I know that we've never lacked in 5 years.
There's a process of facilitating learning. In Nigeria, many communities are lacking education due to cost or lack of infrastructure and facilities to gain the right knowledge. But the STEM and Innovation Lab, an initiative of the Clever Minds Educational Foundation, in partnership with the Queen of Olu of Warri, Olori Atuwashe III, is gearing up to redress that.
That are orphaned, children that are underprivileged, you know. Every Saturday they'll be coming here to learn tech, to learn robotics, to learn the world of STEM.
The inspiration for me was really ensuring that the surroundings, the environment, does not deter the child to be able to dream for a bigger tomorrow. The children in Iyara and any child in Nigeria can be anything they want to be, regardless of where they grow up, regardless of the circumstances of their birth, regardless of where they find themselves. I believe that once they are able to just tap into dreams, tap into hope, they're able to dream, and as wide as their dreams can be, their vision can be even bigger.
It's quality education, not just with feeding, but also with the relevant tech skills that they will be needing for their future. The future is tech, and that's why we're starting here today in Iyara.
One of the pupils who designed the moving vehicle, Master Godswill Ovie, shared his experience and hope for the future. In the same vein, some community leaders commended the foundation for her passion in helping orphans and underprivileged children through access to quality education. Guests were entertained by the pupils with dance and other side attractions.
That's what I know that God will provide.
So basically, you're on the Daddy Oyedepo's line of, if God has called you, God will take care of you.
If God has called you, God will take care of the bills and by himself. And we do a lot of giving also. We do a lot of sowing of seeds. One of the principles we have in Clever Minds Foundation is the fact that every donation, we must tithe from it, we must give from it. And tithe for us is not us giving the money to a church. So if you give us 1 bag of rice today, we'll count the number of baskets in that rice. If it's 12, we would give out 10% of that to a community resident, to a widow. So we donate a percentage out. So I think that's one thing that has kind of kept us going. We believe in Jesus Christ of Nazareth. He's our Lord and personal Savior. And that's why we do what we do.
There was one video of the children. I think they were praying and speaking in tongues and all of that.
That kind of went
And I
viral.
remember my earliest memory of like going to church is having that kind of experience. And it takes me to having nowadays, like, those things don't really, like, people just pray, everybody's praying for something, everybody wants something from God, do you understand? There's really no spiritual growth for children or even for people. Why do you mix both of them? Or let's say now you have someone that comes and the person is like, okay, I'm going to donate 5 million to this foundation, or I'm going to feed the children for 5 years. But like this spiritual part, you have to cut it out because children should be left to grow. What's your opinion?
Well, so if you have $5 million, pounds, naira, but the clause to that is we should take away the spiritual part of the work we do, I'd sincerely tell you thank you and God bless you. My opinion on religion is it's not forced on the children. It's a belief we have. We are only trying as much as possible to get as many children to believe what we believe.
So basically, you're teaching them in school.
Yes.
And you're also bringing them to Christ.
Yes. So we're giving. So Christ is the central message.
Okay.
But education is the tool
That is used.
that we use.
Okay.
So the school is a beacon of hope and a light to every community we enter. So in this school, for instance, we have people that worship Igbe, the non-traditional. We have Muslims in the school. We have 2 Muslims in our school. We have people that don't believe in God in the school. They bring their children here. The school, we don't discriminate based off of religion, but we make it very clear that we believe in Jesus Christ. So what we say to the children, what we say to the parents, for those that have parents, what we say to them is simple. We've gone through the process with you. We've seen that you are not financially able to take care of this child. We've seen that this child is out of school. We want to take this child into Clever Mind. Regardless of your religion, the Muslims in Clever Mind still wear hijab. So we don't force them.
So they're not, it's not like when you come, you have to.
No, you don't have to take off your hijab. If you're a Jehovah's Witness, you don't have to sing the national anthem with us. Whatever you don't do, we don't make you do it. Because the basic thing is we want to give you education. As we go along, you like the fact that we believe in Jesus and you choose to believe in Jesus, then fine. Because a child should be allowed to grow. A child should be allowed to play. This part of a child's life is really play, creativity, and ethics. Less of hectic paperwork. Grow and mix up and learn morals and values and ethics. We allow them to also go into the community and get practical. We have a farm. They go in and plant crops, but we're not ashamed of what we believe.
Exactly.
We believe in Jesus Christ of Nazareth. He's our Lord and personal Savior, but we will not force it on the children. All the social vices we talk about, the thief today that you condemn in the slum community was once a child in that slum community. If you believe that we should nip it in the bud by helping children get education, and you also believe in Jesus Christ. Now, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ and you believe in these things we do, we will just only ask that at least you understand that we believe in Jesus Christ. And we will use your money also to promote a bit of what we believe. Then it's fine, you can make your donations. So that's why we don't actively tell people to donate. We just promote what we do. We promote what we believe. Those that believe what we believe support the work.
So far, how many children have gone through Clever Mind School?
That has graduated.
Yeah.
We have 102 now in 5 years. In 6 years of running the school, but 5 years of graduating students.
5 years of graduating students. Do you feel like in our, let's say our environment, because we are in Delta State, from what we have heard, there's free education in Delta State. The government takes care of the children. So what is the use of having a school like this if the government is doing everything for the children?
The government is really doing a lot. The true state of things is the fact that government schools in its entirety is not free. To get into a government school today, you'd need to buy buckets, you'd need to buy broom, or you need to bring them, they say. If you put an amount to those things, those children are expected to bring before they resume. It's going to be around 25,000 naira. That's equivalent to about 25 pounds. And if you don't have that, then you practically don't go to school. Charity work, social work, NGO work like this is not in any way to compete with government. It's to complement what government is doing. The governor of the state cannot really control everything. He has appointed a lot of people. So that's why we are saying that we also are really doing what we're doing to support government. I mean, we have a government school in this community. It's filled up.
Oh.
So not that the government is not providing a school, there's school here, but the classes are filled up. Now we have Clever Minds here, but there are still children that are not in school, even in the community, with Clever Minds intervention.
There are still children that are not in school in this community.
Around over 502 students, pupils, learners are out of school in just this community. And we have 4 other communities around this community. So if we put those numbers together, we might be hitting a number of maybe 2,000. So government efforts, good. Private sector effort, good. The schools that are business oriented, good. NGOs are also good, but we need to do more. Why do we have this large number of out-of-school children around? Because we have low-cost schools, or what in local Wari language we call Akara schools, that has not been recognized.
Yeah.
So there are loads of Akara schools around that are still in hiding. Create an alternative licensing process for schools that are in the shanties, for private schools that are low cost, for what we call Akara schools. Akara schools educate more children than even government schools. But they're just in hiding because they know that the government might destroy them tomorrow or might just, go and demolish them tomorrow. So we are saying don't demolish them. Recognize them and then teach them, help them grow and show them what to do as they begin to get their license. Lower the bar on how they get licensing and then help them. That's just what we're saying to government in that. So one of the toughest challenges that we faced is in 2017, will be in 2017. In 2017, we built a school with wood. Ooh. Yeah, so because we were just I was just in a hurry to start. I didn't want to procrastinate again. We had a harsh storm and then a neighboring fence fell on the school. So the school went down. Everything we built, classrooms, everything, all went down. 2018, we faced one of the toughest times of our lives as a foundation. Our children had to stay home for 3 weeks, and most of these children come in from different orphanages in our Ejeba school. We have to go from orphanage to pick some of these children to bring them to school. Having to stay home for 3 weeks for me was challenging. We tried to rebuild in 3 weeks. We couldn't. So we had to find a way to do a makeshift school, and they were attending as we started to solicit for funds to rebuild. God so kind, we had the intervention of the then governor of Delta State, His Excellency Senator Ato Ifeanyi Okowa. He granted us 5 million naira.
Oh, wow.
That went a long way. Another of our donor, Mr. Alex, granted us 1 million naira. We had 6 million. And then a couple of people donated in kind, blocks. And so people just saw, I had posted what had happened to the school. So we rebuilt the school in 3 months. And thank God it happened when the term was already almost over. So we spent the holidays rebuilding. So that would be one of our toughest time in Clever Minds, where we had the school, just almost demolished by natural causes and by a neighboring fence that fell on the school, having to rebuild. But we were also grateful that we did rebuild, and currently we have 225 children in that school.
Most times you see a lot of foundations, especially in Nigeria, where a lot of people don't trust foundations and they don't trust people that are said to be helping, because most times those funds are diverted. What are systems that you have put in place to make sure that whatever is donated to this foundation or to these children actually gets to the children, and to make sure that the focus and the goal and the aim of the foundation comes to pass?
So like I said, the big goal of the foundation is to help 20 million children that are out of school. Nigeria has the largest number of out of school children. What are some structures we've put in place? Number one, I'm not the final say when it comes to money going out.
Oh, okay.
I'm not the final say. We have 2 major board members that I have to explain everything in detail on what I want to do or what the school wants to do with the money. If one of our board members disapprove of what we want to do, then we don't do it, you know. Number two, the foundation has no ATMs except checkbooks. That's another structure we put in place. So that's another internal control measures where I have to sign, the board member has to sign, you know, so everything can be properly documented. Number three, we have an auditor that we pay. Not in Warri, our auditor is in Lagos. So the auditor we use was recommended to us by one of the biggest, education social impact body also. So we have that in place. We are audited, we submit our audit report. So everything we do with the foundation basically is really audited. And we encourage an open door policy where people can come into the school. You know, if you donate rice, for instance, you can come into the school to see the children. You can come into the school to see that the children are being fed, you know. So we also don't restrict how people donate. If you want to donate in kind, we encourage it. If you want to donate in cash, we encourage it. If you want to support a teacher salary, we encourage it, you know.
Funny enough, I grew up in Delta State. I was born here. I've never been to Iyara.
You know? But everybody goes to Makoko.
Yeah, never, like I've heard about it. Obviously, you hear stories about how notorious it is.
Yes.
But I've never been here.
It's a notorious community, notorious for a lot of things, a lot of bad things. You know, we have the bad boys here. We have children in the Iyara community that don't have clothes to wear. You know, children in the Iyara community that only eat maybe once in 2 days. We have children here that don't have their baths for like 2 days. Why? No public toilet, no public bathroom. We have children in this community that has never seen a computer before. We have children in this community that has never seen a drone. Today is the first time that they saw a drone. And you saw the reaction when they saw a drone. So it's like living in the dark ages. It's like living in the medieval times. But when we came into the community, yes, it's notorious for all the bad things. But you also find jewels in dirty places. You also find pearls in dirty places. Iyara community has been this community where I have loved to work. I have been here for 3 years. They've never stolen from me before.
How do you manage that?
They've never, because you make the community part of what you do. You treat every child like your child. You treat every human being like your. That's why I don't believe customers come first. I believe human beings come first. That's why you see, we never show the bad part of the Iyara community. Not that we don't have bad parts. We never show children, in gutters drinking water. We never show them and say, "Oh, donate, help the children. They're starving."
Help the children to drink.
They don't drink
one tap water.
One clean water a day and stuff. You know, £1 can help a child. Yeah, people do that. But I choose to show poverty from a point of strength. I choose to show, squalor from a point of strength. I choose to see the talent they have. That's why I show them dancing. That's why I show them, in school, being happy, praying, and learning, and eating. You don't need to see the children in dire condition before you help them. The community needs help, but we choose to show the talent in the children. Yes, we might show that talent in the true state of the community, but Iyara community is safe. They welcome visitors, but it's notorious.
Yeah.
All the things you hear about the community is true, but the day you come into the community and say, "I'm not here to help you, I'm here to be your friend, and how can we together help ourselves?" We didn't come with the savior mentality to them. We came to say, "You know what? You're my brother, you're my sister. How can we work together? How can we build a school?" We forgot to lock our school one day. We didn't lock the school. And we have items that are donated in the school. We have rice beans, we have all these things in the school. A notorious community person, notorious for a lot of bad things, called us and said, "Mr. Zion, you don't lock your school, oh." If that man can call you that you didn't lock your school, then there's something is happening. Yeah. He went to buy padlock and locked the school.
Oh, wow.
The next day I asked him, "Why did you do that?" People say you would have been the person to go in and loot the school. He said, "Because they teach our Pekin. My Pekin did the school. So the son of the perceived armed robber is here. The daughter of the perceived, whatever you call them, they're here. The son of the notorious person that you say is the cultist is here." So it's the congregation of everybody. They might be who they are, but they don't want that for their children.
Yeah.
So you need to come in to experience. This is the Urobo speaking side.
Oh.
This is the Shekiri speaking side of the community.
Also, that's why it was so easy when the fight came about.
Yeah, so some people, and then but the problem is that some people also like intermarried. So this is Ashelu community. Then this is Ojon Robo
community.
Yes, and then if we go further by the other side, there's Ojon community.
So Ojon is what tribe?
Ojon is mixed of Urobo and Shekiri. But here in Ashelu, we have more of the Shekiri people.
Oh.
While here in the Ojon Urobo, we have more of the Urobo people. So you still go to the houses now and still see holes on the walls, bullet holes from 1999.
Yeah.
So they've experienced hardship. They're only just coming out of it. So who are we to judge them? So it's a beautiful community, and we decided to plant a school here. And it's been 3 years of doing this great work here with 100 children and loads of the community residents just helping us. And what we also try to do is every single thing we want to get, whether it's sewing uniforms, getting items for food stuff and all that, we patronize the locals. Okay. So it's a community-based approach.
And basically, you're trying to change the narrative, but change it from the foundation.
Yes. Trying to change the narrative, but yes, it's from the foundation. I'm not really trying to go up with the youths, but when people call me and say, "Oh, Zion, I have something I want to do for youth," they pass it through our foundation.
Yeah.
We still take it to the community.
I've seen you bring in women.
Yes.
When people call for widows.
And we bring widows from here.
Widows from here.
Yes,
I've seen
to take rice, oil, and all that, But our main core is children. As we get it right with the children, the community starts to change because the children will become fathers tomorrow.
Yeah.
So there will be a different breed of Iyara community fathers. And we have a STEM lab in the community, the first ever STEM lab in Delta State. Tech giants are going to come out from slum areas very soon. Imagine the best coding person or the best web developer coming out from Iyara community.
Yeah.
Just imagine. And we don't just imagine, we know it's possible. One day, through your support, through my support, through the person watching this, through their support, we're going to produce tech giants from this community. We're going to produce educated people from this community. We're going to produce global citizens from this community. So we have nipped vandalism in the bud. We have nipped hooliganism in the bud. We've nipped all the social vices in the bud because we started with children.
So now, give us one final goodbye.
One final goodbye. Thank you. Thank you for.
First of all, you put your subscribe to Zion's channels. Zion has a YouTube channel.
I have a YouTube channel. I have 2 YouTube channels. Yes.
I don't understand. That was one. I only know one.
Yeah, I have the Students Corner channel where I mentor young people. So the Students Corner channel, and then I have the NGO channel.
The NGO channel.
I'm still trying to build that one. It's called NGO Catalyst. So I have those 2 channels. And then my final word will be to the person watching this right now that has procrastinated success, procrastinated impact, procrastinated doing social work because you feel that you don't have all it takes or you don't feel qualified. It is not rich people that do charity. It is good people that do charity. And you're a good person. That's why you have that heart to start your own foundation. You don't need to have all it takes to start a foundation or to start doing God's work through social impact. Don't start tomorrow. Because somebody might die before tomorrow that was depending on you to start that thing about rape, that thing about sexual violence, that thing you wanted to start about helping teenagers, that thing you wanted to start with the widows and then the old people. What is it you have always wanted to start with your own foundation? Don't start it tomorrow. You've procrastinated enough. You've given a lot of excuses because you're married, whatever it is, start it today. Don't wait till, like me, you have an accident that almost kills you. Start now. Just flap, and God will make you fly. That's what I did. I just started to flap my wings, and God just put air under those wings, and then I flew. He didn't know to have wings first. Flap, and it's God that makes people fly.
Thank you. It's very easy for us to just focus and pay so much attention to the evils and bad things that are happening around us. But sometimes, like I've learned, it's good to just focus on the good. Because most times where there's bad, there's also good. And we need to divide our attention. Excessively focusing on the evils and the bad things happening around us makes those aspects grow. But then when we focus on the good, we give the good a little chance to be able to grow. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you would like to donate to Clever Mind Schools or any other foundation I feature on this channel, I'll leave their contact details and their emails in the description box so that it's easy for you to communicate with them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.